CBS News foreign correspondent Debora Patta is here with us. Deborah, first, your reaction to what we just heard from Netanyahu and what he announced there.
Well, it's still all a little bit confusing. We don't have any details of what a ceasefire would look like. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has essentially said that the War Cabinet, which is a smaller group of people, has approved a ceasefire deal, but that it will still go to the bigger cabinet. That will probably happen tonight. But essentially the fact that he's appearing on national television to address the Israeli people would appear that it is a done deal. Now, what those details are, he has not given us any indication in any full sense of what those could be. But he listed their accomplishments, saying that this is because of the resilience of the people in the north, people along the border with Lebanon, that they managed to destroy many Hezbollah command centers, a lot of Hezbollah weapons. They assassinated the leader of Hezbollah, Nasrallah. And all these achievements have led to this particular moment. So it was essentially an opportunity to show what the efforts of this part of the war has been. They've also decoupled the issue of the fight in Lebanon from the issue, the fight and the war in Gaza. Because essentially, Hezbollah said it was fighting in solidarity with the people of Gaza and that they would continue to fight until there was a ceasefire there. But now it appears that both sides have agreed to this ceasefire. More details will obviously come out as the night continues in terms of what exactly that deal will look like.
Yeah, and, you know, Netanyahu gave 3 reasons for this potential ceasefire agreement. The first was focusing on the Iranian threat. He didn't go more into that, but he also said it allows forces to refresh and resources to replenish. And he also mentioned this was to disconnect the 2 arenas of this conflict and isolate Hamas in sort of the greater picture and put greater pressure on Hamas to release those hostages. Do you have any inclination on why this is happening at this moment right now?
Well, that's a very good question. I think the real and main reason is that this government is under a lot of pressure because there are over 60,000 people in the north of Israel who have been displaced by this war. Now, remember, while there's been a full war for the last nearly 2 months, Hezbollah and Israel have been exchanging gunfire for well over a year now, since October the 8th, the day after the October 7th attack. And there is a lot of pressure for those people to go home. So that was one of the primary reasons, and he spoke about that at great length. Whether they'll actually be able to go home tomorrow or whenever the ceasefire begins, that really remains to be seen, because people are going to want to see that this ceasefire holds. Remember, this is not the first time that there's been a ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel. The last one was in 2006, and that did not hold.
Mm-hmm. And Deborah, you've done extensive reporting in this region. It's been remarkable to watch. I'm curious, what has the conflict done to the people who live around Beirut in Lebanon? I mean, what are they going to be coming home to?
Well, on both sides of this war, there's been terrible costs. You know, in Israel, we've spoken about those who've been displaced. About nearly 130 Israelis have been killed. In Lebanon, the cost is far, far higher. They do not have an Iron Dome to defend them. And we have 1.2 nearly million civilians who have been displaced by this war, and nearly 4,000 people have been killed just in many of those just in the past 2 months alone. I mean, this is the most deadly war in Lebanon since its civil war ended in 1990. And there are people there who are also desperate to go home. They've been waiting for this moment. But again, as all the experts say, this can look good on paper, but the proof will be on the ground.
Yeah, to see if there's actually peace. All right, CBS News foreign correspondent Debora Patta, thank you so much for joining us.